You didn't miss your chance. You didn't get unlucky. And you're not behind. That's the lie. Because the system you've been trying to win in was never designed to let you win in the first place. Not fully, not freely, and definitely not permanently. Everything you've been told about working hard, saving money, and playing it safe sounds right. It feels responsible. But it quietly locks you into the exact position you're trying to escape. Because the truth is this: the system doesn't reward effort, it rewards positioning. And once you see how that positioning actually works, you'll understand why most people spend their entire lives moving forward, but never actually getting ahead. From the outside, everything looks normal. You go to school, you get a job, you earn money, you save what you can. Maybe you invest a little on the side, and over time, it feels like you're doing the right things. You're progressing, you're building something, you're becoming more stable. But there's a contradiction hidden inside this path that most people never question. Because while you're moving forward, the system itself is moving faster. Every year, prices rise, assets get more expensive, the cost of living increases. Opportunities that once felt accessible slowly move out of reach, and the gap between effort and reward starts to widen. So even when you're doing everything right, it never quite feels like enough. Not because you're failing, but because the rules are shifting while you're still playing the same game. If effort isn't the real driver of wealth, then what is? It comes down to leverage, control, and access. Wealth doesn't grow from working harder. It grows from controlling things that scale. Assets, systems, and capital flows. This is why someone with a business can generate income far beyond what a traditional job can provide. Not because they're working harder, but because their effort is multiplied. It's no longer tied to hours, it's tied to output. And this is where the real divide begins. Because most people are taught to trade time for money, while a smaller group learns to use money to control time. One group is limited by how many hours they can work. The other is limited only by how effectively they can scale what they control. At the center of everything is a simple loop. Money flows toward assets. Assets generate income. Income is used to acquire more assets. And the cycle repeats. But there's a catch. To enter that loop, you need capital. And to get capital, you usually need income, which traps most people in a cycle where they work for money, but never accumulate enough of it to break free from working for money. Meanwhile, those already inside that loop compound faster and faster. Their income grows without requiring proportional effort. Their assets increase in value. And over time, the gap becomes exponential, not linear. And that's why it feels like some people are accelerating while others are just maintaining. Earlier, we talked about how the world runs on debt. But there's a deeper layer to that idea that changes everything once you understand it. Debt isn't just something that holds people back, it's a tool. And who controls that tool determines who moves forward. Most people experience debt as a burden. Credit cards, loans, monthly payments, obligations that never seem to go away. But for those who understand the system, debt becomes leverage. It allows them to acquire assets they couldn't afford outright. Assets that produce income that pays off the debt and leaves profit behind. Same system, completely different outcome. And that difference isn't about intelligence. It's about perspective and positioning. So if the rules are technically visible, why doesn't everyone use them? Because there's an invisible ceiling, not a legal one, not something you can physically see, but something that's built into how people think and how the system is structured. It's a combination of limited access, fear of risk, and lack of information. Most people are never taught how to use leverage correctly. They're taught to avoid it, to fear it, to stay safe and predictable. But in this system, safety often leads to stagnation, and the longer you stay in that position, the harder it becomes to move out of it. Not because it's impossible, but because the cost of change starts to feel higher than the comfort of staying the same. There's also a time component that quietly locks people in place. When your income is tied directly to your time, your growth is capped. There are only so many hours in a day. So even if you increase your income, there's always a ceiling. But assets don't operate under that limitation. A property can generate income regardless of whether you're actively working. A business can operate without your constant presence. Investments can grow continuously over time. And that creates a completely different trajectory, because the earlier you shift from time-based income to asset-based income, the more exponential your progress becomes. It's not just about working more. It's about working within a system that multiplies your effort instead of limiting it. So why doesn't everyone make that shift? Because the system creates just enough comfort to keep people where they are. You earn enough to survive, maybe even enough to enjoy life occasionally, but not enough to feel completely free. And that middle space is where most people stay, not struggling enough to panic, but not progressing enough to escape. It's stable, predictable, and quietly limiting. And over time, that stability becomes a trap, not because it's bad, but because it removes the urgency to change. At the highest level, the system itself isn't random. It's structured. Banks create money through lending. Governments influence economic cycles through policy. Corporations control production, distribution, and pricing. And assets sit at the center of all of it. Owning assets means owning a piece of that structure. Not owning them means participating in the system without control over it. And that's the real divide. It's not about how hard you work. It's about whether you own something that works for you. At some point, most people reach a moment where something doesn't feel right. A realization that progress feels slower than it should. That financial freedom feels further away than expected. That the rules seem to favor certain people more than others. And that moment is important, because once you start questioning the system, you begin to see it differently. And once you see it clearly, you can't unsee it. But awareness alone doesn't change your situation. It just changes how you interpret it. What actually changes everything is how you respond to that awareness. Do you stay where you are because it feels safe and familiar? Or do you start repositioning yourself even if it feels uncertain and uncomfortable? Because real change doesn't come from understanding. It comes from movement. It comes from shifting your position over time. Even if those shifts feel small at first, there's a reality most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. There is no perfect moment to start. No point where everything lines up perfectly. No moment where the risk disappears. And that uncertainty is enough to keep most people from acting. But staying in the same position has its own cost. A cost that compounds quietly over time. Years pass, opportunities come and go, and nothing fundamentally changes. Not because it couldn't, but because no shift was made. Another misconception is the idea that there's a clean exit from the system, that one day you step outside of it completely. But that's not how it works. There's no single moment where you're fully out. Instead, there are levels of control. Each step forward gives you more flexibility, more options, more influence over your time and decisions. It's not about escaping the system. It's about gaining leverage within it, and the more leverage you have, the more control you gain. That shift starts with how you think. Instead of asking, "How can I earn more?" you start asking, "How can I control something that earns?" Instead of focusing only on income, you focus on assets. Instead of avoiding leverage, you learn how to use it strategically. And over time, those changes compound, slowly at first, then faster, until the difference becomes impossible to ignore. This matters more now than ever, because the system is accelerating. Technology is changing how value is created. Markets are evolving. Opportunities are shifting. And the gap between those who understand and those who don't is getting wider, faster than before, which means staying in the same position doesn't just keep you where you are. It actually moves you backward relative to the system. When you step back and look at everything we've covered, money creation, inflation, debt, central banks, economic cycles, it all leads to one realization. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. The outcomes you see are not accidents. They are results. So the real question isn't whether the system is fair. It's where you stand within it. Are you positioned to benefit from how it works? Or are you positioned to depend on it without controlling it? Because once you understand how the system actually works, you're faced with a different decision. Not just how to survive, not just how to earn, but how to position yourself so the system starts working for you. And that leads to the most important question of all. If the system is designed this way, how do you actually win inside it? Not in theory, not someday, but in real, practical terms. Because understanding the system is only the first step. Winning in it is something entirely different. And that's exactly what we're breaking down next.